often called the noblest of all professions, is not merely another job. The inevitable question that arises, then, who is a teacher? Someone who teaches me my lessons in college? Or is it my tuition master? Is it my dance teacher? Or is it a music guru? The answer is perhaps all, or maybe just no one. Teacher is just not about helping a student cope up with the curriculum. It is so much more than completing the syllabus. It is about that one conversation and one gesture that has marked your life. It is about that one piece of advice that has stuck with you forever. Sometimes that one pat on your back, that one rebuke that has changed the course of your life and has stayed till date with you.
It can be your mom advising you about your health, or your dad inspiring you to be like him, a friend giving you life lessons post-breakup, or your sibling holding your hand when the world was against you. Sometimes even a stranger who just crossed your path and taught you a new way of life.
Dear teachers, we owe you so much that we cannot deny the fact that whenever we are, it is because of you. We express our gratitude and we'll be calling upon the stage a lineup of few stories and anecdotes about how important a teacher is and how some teachers have impacted our lives. We'll call upon stage for the first anecdote, Pragya.
Hello everyone, I am Pragya from PGP1. I am here to share my story of how I accepted myself and danced through my life with the help of a teacher. I was around 7 to 8 years old and I loved dancing. I used to hear the music and it was thirakna chalu ho jati thi. And my mother, she noticed this in me and like every good mom, she enrolled me in a dancing school. I went there, started learned quite fast because it was there in me to dance. But something was there which was pulling me back, and that was the behavior of my teacher. I really liked dancing, but whenever we used to go to perform on stage, she used to make sure that I was in the last row. And I observed this that why I cannot be in the center stage, why I was not the solo performer. It used to really hurt me. I observed people around me who were there in the last row and they were all fat like me. Yes, I was a little fatter than this at that time. And I found that why we all are at the backstage and in that back row. People around me, they used to say, "Yaar, tu moti to dance kaise kar leti hai?" People don't think before passing that comment. They don't know how it hurts, but they pass that comment. I used to come back to my house, I used to cry. My mother, she found out this and she was like, "Why do you cry after your dance classes? You really like dancing." And then I shared the story with her that I really want to dance, but I'm not able to express myself. It is pulling me down. People are passing such comments. Why does it affect someone that I'm fat? It used to really hurt. But then my mother, she became my teacher. She used to sit with me, encourage me. She used to dance with me, and she helped me come where I am today. I'm able to dance, I'm able to express, and I'm really thankful to her. And I request all of you to find that one teacher who encourages you, whom you can go and share, who is not just a confidant, but you're able to share your feelings. That person encourages you. It is really important to find that one teacher in life. Thank you.
Here on stage, sharing his incident and his story.
So, since I have the stage, we say teaching is two-way learning, right? So, happy Teachers Day to all of you. My dad is 87, and you know, early on in my career, I had the fortune that my father, myself, and the senior faculty, we used to do these workshops for senior bankers. And my father did the first session, and then we had another senior guy come in and do the second session. And I was watching, mine was third. So this guy did the session, and what he used to do was every 10 minutes, he would make a point and there would be a joke. And every 10 minutes there would be a joke, and the audience was responding very well to it, and I was still fairly new into teaching. And I saw it and I said, you know, this seems to work well. So I had my session after that, and I also, it's not difficult to put in a joke, right? So I also put in the jokes, I also got the laughs. And out in the background, while I'm doing my session, I'm seeing my dad kind of sitting there and frowning. Okay, we talk of feedback. I can't go to my dad and say, give me feedback. It was never that kind of a relationship. So I went and sat next to him. And we both just sat. So it's like you're sitting next to somebody, you know something has to be said. And then after some time he says, he plays to the gallery because he has limited substance. I said, you have to decide what kind of teacher you want to become. Stay with me.
Next would be Mayank from PGP1.
So, happy Teachers Day to everyone. So, this is a story about my friend Abhay. Abhay is a writer, or you can say a shayar, as he likes to call himself a shayar. Something changed and something different was happening to him when we reached to a high school. His grades were started going down, his interest in sports was going down, and he was aloof. We were not able to understand what is happening to him. So one fine day I decided to talk to him. I confronted him and asked him, what's the matter, man? Why don't you talk to us? He said, I'm confused, I don't know. So confused? Why confused? What happened, man? I believe there is something different within me. I feel identity crisis. I feel my choices are different from the others. My sexual preferences are different from the others. I listened to him, I understood him, but the only thing which I could have said to him was, "Tu chinta mat kar mere bhai, hum hai tere saath. Tu jo hai, jaisa bhi hai, hum hai tere saath." I asked him to go and talk to his mother. He went, and his mother replied, "आज से मूवी देखना बंद, कुछ भी दिखाते हैं ये लोग. आज से बाहर जाना बंद, सिर्फ पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दो और पढ़ाई करो और घर में रहो." Obviously, things were not supposed to go get better. You need to do something to find this cure of a problem. So one day, while he was going to his tuitions, he didn't go there. He started walking, and he walked and walked and walked to a place which was very crowded, and there were many cafes. It was full packed place. So he found a table for himself. He sat there, and after a few minutes, a voice came from behind. "Excuse me, क्या मैं यहाँ पे बैठ सकती हूँ? पूरी जगह भरी हुई है, जगह नहीं है बैठने के लिए." So he said, "Okay, sure." After a few minutes, something happened. The connection happened. A conversation happened which really changed his life. For the very first time, he was feeling that he is not going to get judged because he was talking to a stranger. This stranger was ready to listen to everything he was he wanted to say. She listened to her confusions, she listened to her problems, his perceptions, and the way he wanted to live his life. She was a very good listener. And after he had said everything, she looked down at his eyes and said, "Listen, you don't need to care about what everyone else thinks about you. You just need to listen to your heart, and you just need to follow what you want to follow. You don't need to care about what everyone else wants you to do or the way they want you to live. You have to live the way you want to live." From that day, Abhay has been living the way he wants to live. In that particular lady, he finds a teacher which he has been looking for in his own life. अभी कुछ ही दिनों पहले मेरी अभय से बात हो रही थी. He is a shayar, so I asked him कि कुछ नया लिखा है कि नहीं लिखा. So he said to me, हाँ लिखा है, सुनना चाहोगे? मैंने कहा हाँ जरूर सुनाओ. So he said, and listen to this very very carefully because this made me pause for a while and really think about the things. उसने बोला कि 1000 ऐब ढूंढते हैं दूसरों के दरमियान, 1000 ऐब ढूंढते हैं दूसरों के दरमियान कि अपने किरदार में खुद फरिश्ते हो जैसे. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the wonderful talk. After this, we have Gaurav, who is here to give us an incident from sports, and let's see how that happens.
A very good afternoon to everyone. A very happy Teachers' Day to all faculty present over here. So we are talking about that one impact, a teacher, a mentor, or a coach. So I'll share my experience, but before getting started, I'd like to ask how many of you here follow cricket? So, okay, how many of you have seen Sachin Tendulkar's farewell speech? Okay, so many of you. So why do you think Sachin Tendulkar in his farewell speech mentioned about Achrekar, his coach? Even after playing 25 years of international cricket, he still went back every day after each match and used to talk to Achrekar. That impact, that role what Achrekar played in Sachin Tendulkar's life is immense. So that Sachin Tendulkar had with him till the last day of his international career. So he mentioned about that even on the last day. So I'd like to share one experience. I have played in Cricket Association of Bengal for 12 years, and I had my coach, Mr. Siddharth Shah, so who used to be very strict, very strict. So even if we used to get late for 1 minute during winters, he used to make us take 10 rounds of the ground, and trust me, it's not easy. At 6 o'clock in the morning, winter, you have to get 10 rounds of the ground, it's not easy. So he used to be that strict. And when practicing in net, when we used to get something wrong, the technique is missing, the timing is not happening, he used to scold us like anything. He used to make us stand in front of everyone and used to insult that it hits you inside and you don't make that mistake. So I was playing a semi-final match, CAB tournament against Arunlal's team Bonvita. So it was a very important match. Those who know that CAB final, it happens at Eden Garden. And for a sportsman, it's a dream to play at Eden Garden. And it was that important for us. It was a semi-final match. And if we win that match, we get to play at Eden Garden. So it was that important. And I was batting at 75 not out. I was playing quite well. But the target was quite hard, like 230 in 25 overs. The total was around, we had to chase 20 runs in 10 balls. So I had to take risk and I went for a shot. But it did not connect, I did not connect well and I got out. So I was extremely disappointed then. I did not take my team to the winning line. And at the same time, I was extremely petrified and scared about my coach. What would happen when I would go back to my dressing room? What would my coach tell? He'll probably ask in front of everyone and he'll insult me, scold me. So I was slowly going back to the dressing room and I sat. I was thinking about that. And suddenly I saw my coach coming. I was not looking at his eyes. I was just looking down at the floor. He came. He sat and he took a pause. And after that 10 minutes, what he told, what happened, that will remain with me forever, for the rest of my life. He told, probably the best innings you have played today. Probably the best innings you have played today, and with the passion and spirit you played, I'm proud of you. So that pat on the back, that moment, that 10 minutes of conversation, what he told, it definitely left an impact on me. And as our Dean Sir says, that gave me a bigger picture of life. You know, we fail, we fall. But we need that one hand, we really need that one hand who takes us and again gives us the confidence to move forward in life. It did not happen like that in Bollywood. I again went back and hit a 6 and win that tournament. It did not happen. But that bigger picture of life, that we fail, but we have to stand. That one hand, what coach, mentor, teacher, mom plays in our life is very important. Thank you so much.
Next we have Akshay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so my story started in class 12. Class 12, like every other common student living in Delhi NCR, my aim was to get into SRCC. SRCC is the best college for any commerce graduate for BCom honors. So in class 12, I gave it my heart, my soul to score a good percentage and get into that college. That was kind of my goal, that after this 1 year I have to be in that one college studying BCom honors. Exams passed, my exams went quite well. I was very happy. Results came and my percentage was 97. I thought, okay. Maybe there is a slight chance I might not get, but there was still a hope in my heart that yes, I can, let's see, let the cutoffs come out. When the cutoffs came out, I lost that college by 1 mark. My score was 388 on 400 and the cutoff was 389. And I thought, okay, it's okay, let's go, let's see what happens. I got into LSR and a couple of months into LSR, I was still a bit disappointed. Because it was not because of the college I got into, it was because I had thought that that is the place I want to be. I worked hard for it. I wanted to be there. So after a couple of months, I went to visit one of my economics teacher in class 12. She had been my guide for the 2 years, 11th and 12th. And I went to her and she asked me, there's something wrong. You don't look like the same person. You look a little sad. I said, ma'am, I'm not sad. That is a great place to be. But I'm just disappointed that I worked so hard. That was my everything I gave it everything and I still didn't get it. She said, okay, if that's the case, I'll give you one little activity. It's a weekend, you can do it. Go home, get your accounts book out, this thick. Take 4 chapters from that book, take a fresh register and start making P&L and balance sheet. Make sure you use a pencil, a sharpened one. Make sure you use a ruler. Make sure you use black pen for the headings and make sure you use a blue pen for all the rest of the matter. If there is a single cut in any place, start all over. Do not make sure there is no mistake. Fill at least half the register. After you've done filling that register, look over it, flip the pages, and be proud that you did this. There's not a single mistake in that work. Take a marker, a permanent marker, and make cuts. Just cut the full work, cut it all out. Tear the pages, just tear them apart and throw them in the dustbin. You will get over that love of your hard work. That hard work is okay, everyone does. You did it, you wanted something, you didn't get it. It's life. Move on. Where you are, most people don't get. Be proud of what you did and be happy with what you have. That one lesson, and the next day when I went into college, I had a different perspective. I had a different way of looking at things. I had a different way of the teachers, of the classes, of the subjects that I was being taught. I was happy. After 3 years of that college, I realized that LSR gave me much more than I expected it to give me. It made me a better person, a person who's open to different perspectives. And I'm glad that my teacher gave me that one little activity and opened my eyes to a different world. Thank you, everyone. We all have that one maths teacher in our lives who makes us either fall in love with numbers or scare us for life. But what does the man of numbers himself have to say about his teacher? Suranjan Das, sir, please.
Okay, you mentioned the brief was one teacher. Here there's a dilemma and I mentioned about the dilemma. So this was, and I distinctly remember, after I submitted my dissertation and there was a break between that time and the graduation ceremony, I went home. I did not tell them that I was going to Kolkata, and all I ensured was that the neighbor had the key in case parents went out, father and mother. So, but they were at home. And of course I wanted to give them a surprise. It was a great surprise. But I got a return surprise. In the drawing room, I reached somewhere around 10:15 at night, which is the early days in a Bengali household, and they were playing chess. Okay? So they always played chess. So after some initial pleasantries and all of that stuff, we sat, we spent a long time. Okay, you've graduated, you've finished your PhD, you're going to work and all of that stuff. And this chess board was lying over there. The date was the 2nd of March of that year. Okay, that was 97. So suddenly, mom said, okay, so you've got this graduation, all the skills and competencies, etc., all of it was what you've got. I'll give you 3 words. And a chess piece has 64 squares. First word, responsibility. Second, independence. Third, emotions. Fill up this chessboard. 64 pieces, 3 words. So I looked at it for a long time, and then I did fill it. Emotions, there were some squares of emotions, some responsibilities, and some independence. Then I said, what would you do? Curiously enough, neither mom nor dad filled up any square with emotions. Father filled 60 squares of independence and 4 squares of responsibility. And mom did, I think, reverse. She put maybe around 40 plus with responsibility and the rest independence. And no one filled on emotions. Whereas I have loaded those squares with emotions. Subsequently, I realized, and then I asked the question, emotions, but you asked 3 things, right? But we never said that you have to fill up all these words in all these squares. Emotions is all over the place. But it's responsibility or independence. Much later, I realized both were true. And then my father had filled up a lot of 60 squares of independence. And he said, of course he was laughing at mom, and said, well, if I'm not independent, others around will have a sense of responsibility, a misplaced responsibility that they will want to take care of me. I'm sick, I'm falling, I'm unable to open the lock, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. So only when I'm absolutely independent, others do not have this sense of responsibility. And it's extremely important. And I've seen, my father is 84, he cooks, he cleans the house, he visits here and he goes back, he does the entire thing, cooking, running errands at 84. And I hear them 4-5 months back, he said the maid was either aane ka zarurat nahi hai. So last 5-6 months he's been managing the house as well. Independence is very, very important for him. But for mom, responsibility was extremely important. And then she also said, well, I think you need to be responsible. Responsibility is most important. And maybe 1998 there was a situation, I'm not getting to that kind of a detail, where I think I felt that was a big loss of a year which I had, but she told me on a certain day that she was not well, she was quite unwell, and the next day was the QM end-term exam of the institute where I was teaching, so 48 hours. So I was sent on a red alert, fly down tonight. But then I spoke to her. She said, remember responsibility 2 years back when you came over from the hospital bed? She said, no, responsibility is most important. You have your students have exams, and there's the last exam of the year. They are going out for the summer training. You have to be there. There's no question of you coming over. She was able to talk pretty well. And both of them were successful. Still, I do not have the answer. But one answer I got is that emotions, you don't allocate emotions. Emotions are there all over the place. It holds the chessboard, it holds the chess pieces. Figure out your position, responsibility or independence. That I thought together from the parent. 1 unit you gave me a brief parent. That was my biggest sense of learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone. All of the speakers, all of the listeners. Thank you everyone for an amazing, heartwarming bouquet of short stories and personal stories. Thank you.
The one simple idea that emanated from today's event is that we owe our teachers everything. Every teacher in our life teaches us something or the other. And this was just a quiet, unassuming, no big way of saying thank you so much, teachers.
Happy Teachers Day.